right around the time we were starting the casting process, it turns out Cate made one of those Criterion closet visits where she was, that are available on YouTube of just her. She was going through some Criterion collection things and found a movie I had directed back in 2007, My Winnipeg.
But have you seen My Winnipeg? Yes. Guy Maddin?
No, I've never seen that. I wanted to see that. He shot that in black and white, I think, right? It's a very dreamy imagery. I remember seeing an article in American Cinematographer.
Yeah, docu-fantasia. That's a really great way of describing it.
She said she liked it. I remembered that she had been on the jury at the Sydney Film Festival when I narrated that movie live, and so I knew she knew who I was, which is a start. And Ari Aster, one of our executive producers, a friend of ours, had her number. They'd been talking together about possibly working together someday, and so just called her up, talked for exactly 61 minutes, 60 minutes about everything except the movie, and then in the last minute she said, I'll do the movie. And so I wasn't sure during that 60 minutes if she was just being polite to me to let me down easily or not, but we got along very well, and she's very smart and funny, and so it was pretty simple. She'd apparently been aware of the stuff we'd been doing, which helps too. We've been operating in the shadows and on the margins. Some people know a lot about what we do. Some people have never heard of us, that sort of thing. So it really helped that she watches movies voraciously and really knows. She's a producer herself, and so she's always checking the landscape.
What were they then? Terrorists? They loomed threateningly.
Protesters.
That's what I thought to at first.
I think there's a tendency, because of the nature of the characters, each one is the head of state of their nation. There's a tendency for a viewer to just project onto the characters.
Project the current leader.
Project the current real world leader of those nations, or stereotypes and national characteristics, which we were playing around with sometimes, but even when you're not, I think people just see Germany and the German chancellor. Oh, a German would do that, or a German wouldn't do that, but they're still thinking about what a German would or wouldn't do. And that aids the process. It's also fun to goad an audience kind of into feeling like the characters are embodying national stereotypes, and then withdrawing that, or that they're some kind of allegorical representation of the country and its politics itself, and then withdrawing that. And so I don't know. That's just fun to play around.
And then there's a tendency with French politicians to be intellectual and to speak a certain way.
Yeah, there's definitely just you're writing, and here's what's funny about Macron. We'll transplant that somehow. Here's what's funny about Trudeau. We'll transplant that. But I don't think we were definitely avoiding direct individuals. We didn't want anyone to be playing.
Yes,
no one was
Roy
playing.
is not just.
I know. I wasn't playing.
No, exactly. No, but I don't think anybody was.
No.
You guys sent us some videos, archive.
Oh, just G7
of
people walking around.
G7s,
Yeah.
just so we could.
Summits, yeah, just the way politicians walk and pretend to be talking.
Body language.
Yeah.
Yeah, even I would just one last thing. Even the fact that the American president sort of looks somewhat like Biden and falls asleep a lot was not a. It had nothing to. We weren't thinking of Biden at all. It was and people were calling him Sleepy Joe around that time, but we were ignoring that. We were thinking more about Sleepy Guy, who sometimes in the writing sessions, Guy would fall asleep, and it was more, where the inspiration came more from within than from the.
I get my best ideas while sleeping.
It's true. Like he awakes with just like the best idea you've ever heard, half formed, dream sleep.